Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach the Bible in 100% truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, this is going to be a real quick one. Apologies if you hear my voice, it sounds bunged up. I'm not feeling too great at the minute, but I couldn't resist to do a video on this particular topic. I was going to do this last night, unfortunately fell asleep. So here we are, Monday morning, and over the weekend you've probably heard the news. A lot of fighting has intensified, has increased in the Middle East between the small hats and Hamas. Hamas have made a major attack, got on the offensive in a major way. You know, you have the small hats, you can see here on the left, when you read the title, small hats retaliates after Hamas attacks, deaths past 1,100, and this is 9 hours ago. So, you know, this is huge news, what's going on out here. You know, previously, about a year and a half ago, you had the war break out in Russia, and a lot of people that, you know the scriptures but don't know them very well, immediately pointed to World War III, the third woe, Armageddon. The Armageddon is a compound word, mountain of troops, and that is the Third World War that will take place in the Middle East, in the Levant, in the valley of Yehoshaphat, Yahweh's decision. And you know, so the main players in World War III are going to be obviously Russia and America. So, you know, with the situation in Ukraine, a lot of people got excited and they were like, wow, you know, World War III is around the corner, and it's been a year and a half. And you know, as you know, the true men of the Lord told you that that situation was not going to bring World War III. You know, there's very few people who are, you know, guiding you through this correctly, according to, you know, the prophecies that are due to take place. And there are very few people that are able to, you know, see within range how close, should I say, this destruction is. So, you know, we've been telling you for a while that this destruction is months away, yet we have this thing called the MOTB yet to come. But we're close to the MOTB, and, you know, this situation going on in the land of Israel at the minute today is intensifying. So it's excellent news. That's excellent news if you know the scriptures. You see, there's people out there teaching that, you know, all sorts of, like I say, you know, when the war broke out between Russia and Ukraine, people said, oh, well, this is going to be the Third World War. No, read the scriptures. Some people are out there teaching that, you know, Iran will shoot ICBMs on Americans, and that, you know, according to the scriptures, but yet again, that does not actually say that in the scriptures. But what we do know is Jeremiah chapter 49. The same thing comes up again in Jeremiah chapter 50. And we have verse 20 here. It says, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that ye have taken against Edom, the Edomites, the people who are ruling in the last days. So to understand who the Edomites are, all you have to do is look around and see, you know, which type of people hold the power structure over the earth. You know, and obviously EU and NATO gives you a huge clue to that. It says, and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Teman represents the wise of the Edomites, the Germans, and their scientific military warfare. It says, surely the least of the flock, the least of the Edomite flock, so the least established, which is the small hats in the land of Israel, 1948, says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So this is how World War III is going to start. By the least of the flock, the small hats, in the land today, drawing out other nations into the third woe, Armageddon. So, with this, I've brought out many times that you've got to now look at, knowing the scripture, you've got to keep watching the small hats and see who they get into situations with, into infringements. And one of the big issues that they've had over the recent years is an issue with Iran. Now, I've gone into the subject of Iran many times, and I've said that Iran have an issue, but this is not actually according to scripture. The scripture tells us here that it's the small hats that will draw out other nations into war. So you look at who they have a problem with, and I've always brought out Iran. Iran are mentioned in the scriptures. The Carmanians will come raging in wrath, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the Iran are going to shoot ICBMs on America, but they will be involved in the third woe. So I've pointed it out many times over the last couple of years. You've got to keep an eye out on that particular situation. And a few months ago, probably 2-3 months ago, you may remember I brought out an article which explained how the Iranian government are funding the smaller terrorist groups that are in and around the small hats, i.e. Hamas. I don't know if you remember this, but I brought this out, and I said, look, you've got one issue with Iran and the small hats. So the small hats are kind of preparing themselves for attack anytime soon. They've got the most extremist government in power today in the land of the small hats, and that is because they are going on the offensive, and Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is preparing them for the third woe. So I said to watch that situation, and then obviously bringing out the information that Iran are now funding these smaller terrorist groups, and the small hats are aware of it. The attacks are increasing from this, Hamas and so on and so forth, but they know that it's all being funded by Iran. So this becomes that huge problem that we've explained to you, over the last couple of years. I've said at one point that America will have to come running to save the small hats, and this could trigger World War III. Now, that's exactly what's happened. We had a situation about 6 months ago where the small hats were saying to America, you need to come and back us with this situation versus Iran, and they finally gave the go-ahead at the beginning of 2023. The government of America pretty much made an announcement that they're going to back them when it comes to dealing with Iran. And now the problem is arising on the side of Hamas. That's increasing, and that's, like I say, being funded by Iran. And so what's happened over the course of the weekend, the problems that are happening, America have already jumped to it. They've already preparing troops to send down there. So this is very exciting times. This is, those people that got excited with Russia and Ukraine, you had no concept of prophecy and how far we have to go and what has to happen. See, moving forward a year and a half, the digital infrastructure is closer to being readied, and to see this particular problem now developing in the Middle East is exciting. This is huge. It gets your prophetical, your prophetic understanding, start stirring it up, make you think of these precepts, these scriptures that go hand in hand with this particular time. And it's very exciting, seeing this scenario. You can feel through the spirit that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is about to do something. We've been telling you now, we are months away, whether that be 6, 12, 24, 36, within that period, we're going to have the destruction, we're going to have the MOTB. So it's all gearing up nicely. And as long as you understand the scriptures, the precepts, you will be guided through the Holy Spirit, and obviously you'll understand what's happening. Now, one thing they mentioned over the news, so this situation that's going on at the minute This is really is Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, judging these small hats. He's putting them to task. He's bringing great destruction. They're calling the situation that's happening over the weekend. At the minute, they're calling it the small hats 9/11. That's one particular. I was watching the BBC. And there was one particular reporter, and he pretty much said that they're labelling it. The small hats are labelling the situation as their 9/11. So that shows you how badly they're affected by it. Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, the president of the small hats, he came out and said that this is going to be a long-running war. So this very well, could truly be the situation that ends up bringing all these other nations into war. At some point, Russia would have to get involved according to scriptures. So they would have to go down there. They could be down there to back Iran, could be down there to back Hamas or whoever. So from this point onwards, watching that situation, we know things are going to develop quite rapidly. On the other hand, we're watching the MOTB, and the scriptures tell you, when it comes to the MOTB, these Edomites, they know they have but a short time to get it implemented, and this could be the trigger. They could say, well, World War III's on the way. These banking elites, they like to control and manipulate the situation, but this could escalate out of their control. You've got these powers, these rogue powers, Iran and Hamas, these Islamic states with their own money, their own weapons, and they're willing to do damage. So this World War this World War III could spring up unexpectedly for these banking elites. So they might want to move forward with this MOTB, the digitization of the worldwide economic system. They might want to move it fast. So we're in that time, we're in that home straight. Things are boiling when it comes to Jeremiah chapter 49. The least of the flock starting to draw them out, and the digital infrastructure is almost complete. And this signifies the last two major prophecies due to take place before the deliverance. But and I did look it up. I had to look up the meaning of Hamas. Obviously, it's an acronym, so you have Islamic Resistance Movement. That's pretty much what it stands for. I'm not going to attempt to read that. You can see it, Harakat al-Muqawama al-Islamiyah, Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas. But I found down here, which is quite interesting, it says etymology. Hamas is an acronym of the Arabic phrase Harak al-Muqawama Islamiyah, meaning Islamic Resistance Movement. The acronym HMS was later glossed in the Hamas Covenant by the Arabic word Hamas, which itself means zeal, strength, or bravery. And that's what's, spiritually, that's the message that Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai is putting out there. You better get ready, because his destruction is about to come. We've warned you. We've told you. We've shown you all the prophecies. How to stay clear of certain things, what to do and what not to do. We've shown you how close we are and how serious this thing is. And some have taken that on board, some have not. But now, when it comes to the time of World War III, when that starts, it's going to be time of zeal, strength, and bravery. It's going to be an all-out war, World War III, a battle of the troops, mountain of troops. Armageddon is a mountain. When you a mountain of troops, not a group or a company. This is a mountain of troops. This is a huge number of troops, almost innumerable. These are all going to be sent down from various nations into the Valley of Yahweh's Decision, into the Middle East, and it's all going to kick off from there. And then eventually, this will develop into ICBM warfare, the final destruction. But you can look it up. These attacks. Like I say, they're seeing this as a real. This is, for them, this is a real grave day. They're coming out and calling this a 9/11 and so on and so forth, and they're having to go on the offensive. And like I say, Hamas are stepping it up. They sent over X amount of thousands of bombs. They're being supplied. Where are they getting all these bombs from? They're getting them from Iran, who are ultimately, these are all Islamics working together against the small hats. That's the real issue. Bottom line is none of these people should be in that land. When it comes to the kingdom of heaven, they will all be evicted. Only Israelites will be living there. The true chosen children of the Most High. But at the minute they're battling it out, and the Most High wants to evict the small hats very soon, and so he's getting the aggressors to become more aggressive. He's getting Iran to supply them with weapons, and this all backs up into Russia, because Russia are there to supply Iran when Iran needs certain things. So eventually this could develop into World War III, or might see a major attack from the small hats, either on Hamas or either on Iran. But somewhere along the line, that's what's going to draw us into World War III. And before I go, one thing I want to look at, you might have seen over the weekend with this particular situation, the party goers, festival goers, and these images give you an idea. There were people who were pretty much having a good time at a festival. Music was playing, the dancing, you get the idea. And lo and behold, they came under attack, and these Hamas came running in. And this, from what I've heard on the reports, this festival was in a field, and all of a sudden there were these festival goers. 1 minute they were partying, the music's playing, and the next thing, rocket fire, and then they're getting attacked. So they start running, and then Hamas pretty much surrounded them on 3 sides and chased them. And so they eventually ran through the woods, ran back to their cars. And when the news reports are then going to the road where all there's like all these cars parked. Look, this is it. So what it is, they've parked all their cars, they've gone to this field to enjoy this festival. All of a sudden Hamas have come in, they've attacked them, they've surrounded them from 3 sides, they've chased them through the woods, running back to their cars. By the time they've gone back to the cars, Hamas has just obliterated them. So this is a scene from The Purge. What took place over the weekend is pretty much exactly what you would see in the movie Purge. All these subliminal messages that you've been getting over the years, all these things, the movies that direct us to how it's going to be in the Day of Judgment, a time like never been seen on the face of this earth. It's all about to start happening for real. And if you ain't built up the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to reject it, you're going to struggle. This is another lady. So, another thing that's going on out there, right? So, like, I watched this lady. She was saying that her daughter's gone missing, and basically, pretty much, she was at the festival. Next thing she's watching the news. She's seen a group of Hamas soldiers, and they've pretty much got her daughter's body, and she's unconscious, and they're parading her. What they're doing, they're going out kidnapping people and just dragging them back out of the land of Israel. This is the purge for real. These people are living their normal lives. All of a sudden, people are coming out, attacking them, killing them, dragging them off back into, towards the West Bank, into the land, wherever Hamas are occupying. They're parading them, they're showing them off as trophies, and people are at home watching their relatives on the news disappearing, knowing that they're probably not coming back. This is some serious event that's going on out there. This is real. The work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is another one. She's gone missing. And these are all small hats, pretty much. I mean, all heathens are going to get it come the end of World War III, but these are small hats getting judged. These are, again, this is from the festival. I'm not sure what that is, but this is where the attacks started coming over. People were pretty much partying. Music was playing, they were having a good time, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're running for their lives. So, this is a real life scene from The Purge. Running through the woods, running for your life, under attack. Your mate got kidnapped, dragged off into the West Bank, and now he's getting paraded on TV. Some serious things. What did this make me think of? Luke 17, the second coming foretold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down to, let's have a look, verse 26. I'm going to start here. So this is the last days. This is Luke chapter 17, verse 26. And it said, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man, in the second coming. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. And so, was these people not, reveling, partying, drinking, eating, having a good time, dancing, and then what? They've just been come and snatched over the weekend. They've been snatched, either killed or snatched. The enemy came in like a flood, surrounded them from three sides, chased them through the forest. Made them experience real life, living in the Purge movie, and this is what took place, and it's the same thing that's going to happen when Yahushua returns. Even after this particular event, we're telling you what's happening, how close we are to the destruction. People are going to see this video, and they're still going to kick back, and they're going to think, yeah, well, the destruction's not coming yet, and they're still going to be unaware when it comes to the time of the Lord returning. And that's why we keep giving you this warning, to keep you aware. Those who have the Spirit working on them will not get caught out by the thief, but the rest of the world will. It says, likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought and sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down and take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife. So, Lot's wife was, she pretty much got hit by the fire and brimstone, and it killed her. And that was because, even though they were told to leave that night, she still, she's represented to still have these feelings towards the area she was living in. She had friends, she had a life there. She didn't want to leave it. But Lot was quite happy to cut out. He just wanted to get out. So when they were told to leave, he was running, and his wife turned back because, part of her, couldn't believe, and, secretly wanted to be back there. And, so what happened? She got hit by the fire and brimstone. And that is, a message to you in these times now. You have the mentality of Lot's wife. You think you want to hold on to this place. Then you're not going to see the end coming, because you're forever. If you're trying to, if I'm telling you, look, something's about to finish and you don't want it to finish, you're going to look for angles and try and assume things that make sense to say this thing's going to continue for a little bit longer. You're going to miss the real signs that are showing you how close it is to ending. Like I said, there's a lot of precepts to go with this, but these are the two that I've picked. So I hope that's edifying. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak, Kwadash. Until next time, Shalom.